What's up everybody? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Adhesive. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to do an acrylic full set. Right now I'm just showing you some materials that you're going to need to go forward. You're going to need some drill bits, acrylic powder, an acrylic brush, a dapping dish filled with acrylic liquid, nail tips, some dehydrator, and if you want to, you can definitely use an electric nail drill. Right now I have the JD 700 from a cart. So right now, I'm just going to start by filing the tips of my nails so that they are flushed and they are shaped correctly. So when I put my nail tips on, I do not have any lifting or them popping off. The rest of the materials that I'm using in this video will be listed in the description box below. So definitely go down and look at that if you want to use the same exact materials I'm using. So now, I do use an electric nail drill, but do not feel the need to use that. If you would prefer to just use a regular nail file, you can, if that makes you comfortable. The only reason why I am using an electric nail drill is because it tends to make the job a little bit quicker than if you were to just use a hand file. Hand files can be a little tedious and it does take a lot of time. So that's the only the benefits of using an electric nail drill. Now, a lot of people ask me, how do I do my own nails when it comes to having to do your non-dominant hand? So right now, as you can see, I'm filing my non-dominant hand, and it is very difficult, and you kind of have to use a different technique when you're filing your non-dominant hand. You tend to have to actually use your non-dominant hand to file itself, if you understand what I mean. So right now, I'm just prepping my electric nail drill, switching out the placeholder nail drill bit for a sand band. And with these, you always want to have a fresh sand band for every customer. Right now I'm using a fresh one for myself. Go ahead and switch this out. Now when you're using an electric nail drill, you definitely want to have the speed very low, because if you don't, you could cause damage to your nail bed. So I use the drill bit on a very low speed when it comes to my natural nail. And then when you're shaping your acrylic, you can use higher speeds. So right now I'm just prepping my nail to get it ready to apply acrylic and also the nail tips to it. You want to definitely do this by removing the shine. So if you look at your nail bed, you notice that you have a natural shine, and those are the natural oils of your nail. You want to remove that because that can later cause acrylic to lift and your nails will not stay long. Here we go again with that non-dominant hand. So as you can see, I'm not very strong with my non-dominant hand, but you just definitely want to just take your time, go slow, and keep at your own pace, because if you're not careful, you can cut yourself and cause damage to your nail bed. So just be sure to pace yourself. And if you pay attention, you can see that before filing the rest of the nail, I tend to go right along the cuticle line. You're removing the cuticle because right there, that's where lifting tends to happen the most, right at your cuticle. And the acrylic will start to lift there, and then from there on, it'll just lift the whole entire nail. So you want to definitely file your cuticle when you're doing this process. So now I'm just picking out the sizes for my nails. These are the nail tips that I use. I will definitely have this down in my description box. I got these from Amazon, so I'll make sure to have the link there as well. So you want to pre-choose your sizes for all of your nails, so you don't have to go through that process later on. So right now I'm just fitting my nails and ensuring that they fit. Now, if you ever have to choose between a nail that's kind of small and a nail that's too big, you always want to go with the nail that's too big, because you can definitely fit it to your nail later by filing. You never want to choose the smaller nail, because when you press it down with force and you put that glue, it'll eventually pop right back off. So you want to definitely choose the bigger nail over the smaller one. I literally have to keep adjusting my camera to make sure I stay in shot. It's so difficult to do your nails while being sure you're still in shot. So right now you just want to add the glue to your nail tip. Not too much, because if you put too much, it can ooze out the sides. And you want to hold it as straight as possible while the glue dries. And if you see anything that doesn't have enough glue, you can definitely apply some glue on top of it, and it'll seep underneath the nail. So I'm just going to apply all of my nail tips now. See, as you can see there, I did not like how my middle finger nail tip was applied. It was crooked. So I decided to put a new nail tip on and to try to apply it as straight as possible. You want to be sure to catch those type of things, because once you apply acrylic, it is very hard to get your nail to go straight. So now I'm using my nail clippers. I will leave a link below for the nail clipper that I'm using. I got it from Amazon, of course. My Prime membership has been paid in full. So right now I'm just clipping my nails. I am sorry that my hands are out of camera's view, but it's very hard to clip my nails straight while trying to keep it in view. So I do apologize ahead of time. There will be a couple times where I pull my hands out of camera view and you won't be able to see what I'm doing. But that's because I am trying to do my nails correctly so that they look good. So now I'm moving on to my left hand and applying my nail tips. being in the military, I can't have my nails too long. But the reason why I have them long right now is because I want to leave room for me to shape them into more of a coffin shape or a tapered square. So if you cut them too short, it kind of gives you a hard time later on when you want to shape your nails. So I'm leaving them a little bit long, and then I will try to get them in regs as much as possible. Ooh, child, I've really lost my touch working with long nails. So right now I'm just getting my straight edge nail clipper. I use this to help me trim the sides of my nail tips so that it makes it easier when I want to shape them into a coffin. So I don't have to do a lot of filing when I do this. So if you want to cut back on your filing and kind of get your shape a little bit closer to what you want it, you can definitely clip off some of the sides. I highly suggest you use some nail scissors or a straight edge nail clipper like I have here. I will also leave the link for this in my description box. Right now I'm just shaping my nail tips into more of a coffin shape. So this will lower the amount of shaping and filing that I have to do once the acrylic is applied. It is a lot harder to shape acrylic than it is to just shape your nail tips because they're just plastic. So that's what I'm doing here now. I am more of a fan of the coffin shape, as you can see. But I do try other shapes. I do like to do stiletto, but once again, being in the military, you're kind of limited to what you can do on yourself. But that's why I like to practice on other people, because it allows me to try different shapes. Guys, when I say this is a very long process doing your own nails, I can see why people go and have other people do their nails because it does take some time. It took me about maybe 2.5 hours to complete my whole entire full set. By the end of it, I'm not gonna lie, I was tired. So just bear with me and feel free to skip ahead to different parts. Some of it could be a little repetitive, and just yeah, it's long. Oh my gosh, I was really out of camera view in this one. I was struggling with these nails and with trying to keep what I'm doing in camera view. It is a lot harder than you think, guys. So now I'm just doing some little bit of meticulous things. Any nail tips that I feel like didn't have enough glue on the sides, just gonna go ahead and apply some of that to get it to stick down. Get rid of all that dust on my cloth. Now I'm gonna use my electric nail drill to pretty much make the nail tip flush with the natural nail, so it's a lot more natural when I'm applying the acrylic, so I don't have any lumps and bumps in my acrylic. So you definitely want to go along where the nail tip and the natural line meets, and you want to file that down so that it's nice and flat. And remember to have your nail drill on a low speed, because you do not want to cause damage to your nail bed. So now I'm going to go ahead and get started to apply acrylic to my nails. Go ahead and get my acrylic powder ready. You want to be sure to roll it. Don't shake it, but roll it so that it's all mixed up. Add a little bit more liquid into your dapping dish. So this is my dehydrator. I put this on my natural nail only. Do not put it on the nail tips. You want to put it on your natural nail. Now we're going to go ahead and go forward. And I'm just going to show you the different types of acrylic beads that you can have. That was a very dry one. You want to have it perfectly so that when you sit it on your nail, it doesn't drip when it's too wet, or it's hard to mold if it's too dry. So you want to kind of place that like halfway between the nail, you know, where your apex would start. That's the strongest part of your nail, so that it doesn't snap off. So that's where my first bead will go. And make sure you clean your brush in between applications. And then pretty much I don't really have a technique on how I apply my acrylic. I work smarter, not harder. So I apply acrylic where I feel that it needs to be. So right now I'm just building my apex. I'm trying to make my nails strong. So that's why I've added 2 beads kind of in a similar area. And pretty much I'm just trying to control the bead as it goes down onto the nail. So now I'm going to apply this bead a lot closer to my cuticle, and I'm going to push it up into my cuticle very, very slightly, and then just slowly pull down. It does take practice to get the hang of applying acrylic to your nail, and it's okay. You can apply as many beads as you need to make your nail perfect and strong. With time and with practice, you'll be able to do this a lot quicker, and I've seen people do it with maybe one large bead or two medium-sized beads, but don't worry about trying to match that kind of process. Just do it the way that you feel comfortable. So right now I'm just pretty much shaping the acrylic, keeping it out of my cuticle line. And you don't want it to pour onto the sides or underneath your nail because that's really hard to remove. So obviously I saw a piece of my nail that didn't have enough acrylic, so I just grabbed a little small bead and I just blended it into the rest of the nail. You can see that's coming along nicely. I have a strong apex, and just add it where you need. As you can see, my main focus when I'm building the acrylic on my nail is my apex. If you do not have a strong apex, your nails will not last. It will snap at the very tip of your fingers and it can be very frustrating. So I focus a lot of my attention on my apex, and also I tend to like to have a nice curve in my nails. So that's why you see that I'm really attacking that area a lot. And again, I'm going up towards my cuticle line and I'm just pushing the acrylic into it, and then I'm blending it down. missed my ring finger when I was doing my acrylic, and I don't know how I did that. Well, actually, not my ring finger, my middle finger. I don't know how I missed that. So right now, as you can see, I went back to go ahead and apply acrylic to that before I moved on to my pinky. It's so crazy. When you're doing your nails, sometimes you just miss stuff, and it's okay. You guys just take your time, and before you know it, you'll be professionals. Alright, so now I'm switching to do my non-dominant hand. Boy, is this gonna be fun. Not really. So I'm just applying my dehydrator to the nails, and I'm just gonna start that process all over again. So this time, I will be applying it to my non-dominant hand. I don't know why, well, I guess we do all know why it's a lot harder to do it. But for some reason, I felt that my non-dominant hand came out a lot better than my dominant hand. So that's very interesting. done with your acrylic, you want to be sure to clean your brush, get all that acrylic that might be in it, and then make sure you shape it, and then close up your powder and move everything out of the way. And now here's the fun part. We are going to start filing your acrylic into the shape that you want. So remember, we went ahead and clipped our nail tips into close to the shape that we wanted, and we filed them close to the shape that we wanted. So you should have minimal shaping here. Now, as you know, I am kind of a perfectionist, so I do kind of go a little ham on my nails. So you just want to file them away and get it as close as possible to the shape that you like. And then we just want to go ahead. I was knocking things all over my desk when I was doing this, but I go ahead and I take my nail file and I file the top of my nail just to make it a lot smoother and to remove any ridges or bumps that may be there from the application. Oh my goodness, there was so much dust flying everywhere. You could see it all over my desk. That's why, honestly, if you tend to have a little bit of sinus issues when it comes to dust, you definitely want to buy yourself some face masks. And that's why you saw the face mask earlier in this video that I put on my face. Because later on in the night, I usually have a lot of problems with my sinuses with all this acrylic dust. So please be sure to, protect yourself from any of these contaminants from doing your nails. And yes, my house smelled like a nail parlor for the next 2 days. So just keep that in mind. So now when you're filing your other hand, you want to be sure to use the hand that you've already accomplished and you've been happy with the shape of the other hand. You want to use that as a reference so that your hands, they look similar. The nails on your hands look similar. Now remember, just like eyebrows, your nails, they're never going to look exactly alike, but you want to get them pretty close. So remember, they should be related, not sisters. So that's what I keep in mind. At least that's what I tell myself, so I don't go crazy, because I am a very, very crazy perfectionist, and I will file away just to try to get my nails to look exactly alike. So I have to tell myself that they're not going to look exactly alike, but they are going to be similar, and very, very similar at that. Once you've got the shape, you want to file your nail at a 90-degree angle, the tip of your nail, so that you have a nice straight edge, and then just match it up with your other nails so that the length matches. So be sure when you're filing the tip of your nail and you're trying to get that nice sharp edge of your coffin or your shape, you want to file it at a 90-degree angle if you can. now I'm going to use my electric nail drill to pretty much file down my acrylic and to be sure to go along my cuticle line and remove any acrylic that may have spilled into that. So you want to do that nice and slow, but you want to have the speed on your drill bit, now that it's not your natural nail, a little bit faster, and you're just gonna pretty much run it along your nail to remove any rough edges and smooth everything out. And you want to get everything nice and even. So be sure you go along your cuticle like how I'm showing you here. You want to go along that cuticle and remove any acrylic that may have pooled into that area, because later on that can cause lifting when your nail starts growing out. Now, will it be perfect? No, but you definitely want to give it a shot. Usually you can tell the experience of a nail technician based off of when the nail starts to grow out the cuticle area, but it all comes with practice and time. To finish that off, I'm going ahead and dust off my nails. And I'm going to grab my polar bear buffer, one of my favorite types of buffers, and I'm just going to smooth out the nail. Any rough edges that may have been left behind will cease to exist once I'm done. So you just go ahead and file your nail down, well, buff your nail down, and that's pretty much it. This is the easy part. Dust off that, and now I'm going to grab some lint-free wipes and some alcohol, and I'm going to use this to pretty much wipe off my nails any oil that may have came from me touching them, or any dust that may be in the cuticle, and also disinfect my cuticle area just in case. And right now, this is pretty much me prepping my nails to apply my gel nail polish. I love using gel nail polish. I don't use any other type of polish. It's quick, and I find it that it lasts a lot longer. So I'm gonna use my favorite color here in just a sec. So I have here my base coat and my favorite top coat, my pyramid. It is a matte top coat. It's literally the best top coat that I've ever used when I wanted to have a nice matte finish. So if you want to look into that, I will have the link below. I got it from eBay. So right now I'm just gonna go ahead and add the base coat. I've noticed some people, they skip this step when it comes to applying gel polish. They skip the base coat, but I do not. I feel that the base coat helps your gel polish stick to your nail, and it lasts way longer. I have gone to nail technicians or nail salons where they do not apply the base coat to your nail before they apply the gel polish, and within about maybe 3 or 4 days, my polish starts to lift off of my nail, and it's very upsetting. So now that I've learned to do my own nails, I never skip this step, and I highly suggest you don't either. So you just want to apply a nice thin layer of base coat, just like you're painting your nails. And then you want to go ahead and nuke that for about 60 seconds. And I'm using my my lamp that I've had this for about a year. It's one of my favorites. It works very well, very lightweight. And I will go ahead and add that in the description box as well with the link. I got it from Amazon. It was about $25. Not so expensive compared to a lot of the lamps that I've seen, but it does the job perfectly. And now I'm gonna add my favorite color. It's like a nice deep chocolate brown. I don't know what it is about brown polish, but when it comes compares to my skin, it really does complement my skin very well. And it's a bolder color for me, one of my bolder colors that I can use, you know, being in the military. The military does not allow us women to use a lot of colors, but since I have darker skin, I am able to use a color that complements it very well. And what better color than brown, a nice chocolate brown. And then you're gonna see how beautiful this brown is gonna be once I add my matted top coat on top, just in time for the fall weather. I ended up finding some lint on the nail when I was putting the polish on. So I went ahead and I applied another base coat and started that process over. And I just put that nail in. I was not happy that I found that lint. You definitely do not want to keep painting once you notice that there's lint in your polish, because once that dries, it's just going to have a lot of bubbles and you don't want that. And then I just go right back to applying my color here. I'm just doing some last touch-ups on my first coat. And then I'm going to use one of my little wooden sticks to remove any polish that may have pulled into my cuticles or onto my sides, because it's very hard to remove once you dry it or you nuke it. Right now I'm just being a little meticulous. So I go ahead and nuke that for 60 seconds, my first coat. I'm in love with this color. I just love this deep brown. It just goes very well, and it fits perfectly for the weather. You know, when you think of autumn, you think of brown, burnt orange. So I really love this color. So now I'm just applying my second coat just to make sure it really fits the color that it really is. You usually do not want to apply more than 2 coats to your nail of your gel polish, because it can end up causing it to peel later because the layers are too thick. So you definitely want to try and keep your layers thin and only apply 2 coats, because then your third coat will be your top coat. Now I'll go ahead and nuke that for 60 seconds. And now for my favorite part, my matted top coat, my pyramid matted top coat. I love this top coat. Like I said before, it's literally one of the best matted top coats you can get. So I just apply that just like a regular top coat, and you're going to see how this works. Now, when it comes to matted top coats, I usually like to apply 2 layers just to ensure that it's very matted and you don't want to have any streaks. So you want to be sure that you apply this evenly to your nail. Now, this matted top coat, it does really well compared to a lot of other top coats that I've used. Other top coats that I've used usually leaves a lot of streaks in my nails, so it doesn't look like matted through and through. But with this one, I don't have that problem. So honestly, you could probably get away with just using 1 layer of this top coat, but I just went ahead and decided to use 2. You can literally see the nails turning matte before your eyes underneath that lamp. It's so exciting. Oh my gosh, guys, I just want to go ahead and thank you for watching this long. We are almost done with this very long process. But honestly, it is worth it doing this, because once your nails all come together, they just look great and people compliment you on them. And you can honestly say, I did them myself. So it really did take some time, but I enjoyed it. So we're just gonna nuke it one last time. As you can see, it just turns matte right before your eyes. Beautiful color. Alright guys, so I'm finishing up here. I want to go ahead and thank you for tuning in to my YouTube channel. And please stay tuned for my next video, which will be a fill on these nails. Look at those nails. They came out beautiful. They're nice and matted. Perfect for autumn. And here's a picture here of them. Trying to be all fancy. Thank you. Come again. And please don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Thank you. See you later.